Hey guys, my name is Luke, and in this video we are going to talk about how to be polite at the dinner table. Because today is Thanksgiving. It's Thursday, Thanksgiving. So you may be wondering, why are you making a video instead of eating Thanksgiving dinner? It's because I don't have a family. No, actually, it's because I'm celebrating Thanksgiving with my family on Sunday this year, a little bit late. So I can make this video. By the way, before we get started, make sure you subscribe. Check out my other videos, and if you really like my videos, check out my courses in the link in the description. All right, so let's get started. Now, the first question you may have is, do I really need to be polite when I'm having a meal with my family? It's my family. Why should I be polite? Well, in fact, in America, it's still important to be polite. Polite does not mean formal. I don't mean we wear ties and we No. Polite is different. Being polite means treating others with respect at the dinner table, and that's different in different countries. Okay, so we're talking about American dining etiquette. And yes, even if you're eating with your family, you still need to be polite, especially with your extended family. That means uncles, aunts, cousins, and all of that. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to talk about the do's and the don'ts. We'll start with the do's and then we'll do the don'ts. That means the things we should do if we want to be polite and the things we should not do if we want to be polite. And then we'll talk about a couple of really useful phrases, very useful phrases at the end, all right? Always say please and thank you. Even very good friends in America will say please and thank you. If you ask for something, say please. For example, if you're at the dinner table and you want something, you might say, could I please have that? And if they give it to you, then you can say thank you. It's very simple, but it's also very polite, and people will expect it. Focus on asking questions rather than talking about yourself. This is not only for dining etiquette, this is for American culture in general, how to be respectful of others. If you ask others questions, then they will want to ask you questions, and then you can talk about yourself a little bit. But it shows respect to ask first. For example, how have you been recently? What have you been up to? And if it's someone I don't know at all, maybe I'm meeting someone for the first time, I might say something like, so what do you do? What do you do is a very common icebreaker. It's a question you can use to begin a conversation. Then after they talk about what they do, maybe a student, maybe they're a doctor, whatever, they might ask me the same question. Pay attention to your volume. If you speak like this at the dinner table, it will be considered really rude, and everyone will maybe not mention it to you, but feel uncomfortable. Why is he talking so loudly? What's up with him? Why is he shouting? You have to be careful not to talk over the rest of the table. That doesn't mean you need to whisper to each other. No, not too loud, not too quiet. Ask for things you need. Don't demand things you need. Never say, give me that. Give me the butter. It feels like that. It feels like you're holding a knife to their throat, saying, give me that or I'll kill you. It feels like that. Instead, ask, could I please have that? Or could you please pass me that, the butter, for example. It's much more polite. So remember, when you're having dinner with people, ask, never demand. Compliment the cook. If you have something nice to say it. So if you're enjoying this bread because it's so delicious, say, who made this bread? Oh, I made it. Oh, Sheila, you made it? This bread is so good. I love it. It's the best bread I've had in a long, long time. Sheila will feel really good about herself. At Thanksgiving, everybody will bring a dish. Everyone will bring something. And it's usually the thing that they do really well. People like to hear when other people like what they did or what they made, right? So don't be shy about giving praise. If you have something nice to say it, especially if you can say it to the person who did it. If you know that Sheila made the bread, tell Sheila that you love the bread. Now let's talk about don'ts, things that you should not do at the dinner table. And we'll start with maybe the most important one. Never, ever, ever reach for something, especially if you're reaching over someone else, especially if you're reaching over their plate. Because what if a cat hair falls off your sleeve into their food? Ugh, that's gross. Don't burp.
Oh my no!
In America, we cannot burp, especially if it's really loud. That would be super duper rude. In fact, when I was little, one time my parents made me go to my room for an hour because I burped at the dinner table. Yeah, seriously. Yes, yes. Now, if you accidentally burp, you go boop. It's a very small one. It happens, right? Say, excuse me. If you ever do anything that disrupts the meal at all, say, excuse me. It's a very easy phrase. If you need to stand up and go to the bathroom, say, excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom. Excuse me. It's very polite. Avoid putting your elbows on the table. It's considered too casual. It's a little bit rude. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as reaching, but still, it's not a good idea. You can put your arms here on the table, but not here. Just because if people see you doing it, they feel like you're not taking everybody else seriously, you're not taking the meal seriously, and it's just a part of the culture, okay? So if you're at a bar or you're at a cafe with your friends, yeah, no problem. Put your elbows on the table. If you're at Thanksgiving dinner, no. If you're at a fancy meal, definitely no. Definitely no. Another one that's related to what you do with your body is don't slouch. Slouching is when you lean forward. You bring your arms forward like you can't bear gravity and you're kind of falling down, even if it's just like that. Don't do it, especially at a meal. It's really important to keep your shoulders back because that shows that you respect the rest of the table. You're paying attention to what's going on. You're not in your own little lazy world right here looking down at your food, only focused on what you're doing. No, you're up. You're paying attention. You're looking at this person. You're talking to that person. Very respectful. That doesn't mean you need to put yourself in pain, but at least you need to have a straight back and avoid slouching. Don't eat huge pieces of food. Always cut your food into bite-sized pieces. Always. So if you have a big piece of steak or chicken, or if it's Thanksgiving, turkey on your plate, don't just take the piece and go, this is good. Hold your knife in one hand, hold your food in the other with your fork, cut a small piece that you can fit into your mouth, not something that takes 2 bites, 1 bite. Put it into your mouth and chew it. And you should chew it with your mouth closed. Chewing with your mouth open will make everyone feel very uncomfortable. Okay, so those are our do's and don'ts. Pretty easy. Now, let's quickly talk about just a couple of very simple phrases we can use at Thanksgiving at the dinner table. If you want to offer something to somebody, just say, would you like? Would you like some stuffing? Stuffing is a Thanksgiving food. It's kind of a weird, soft bread. Would you like some stuffing? And then the other person will say, if they want it, yes, please. Yes, please. And then when you give it to them, they'll say, thank you or thanks. If they don't want it, they'll say, no, thank you, or oh, no thank you, no thank you. That's very polite. Still say thank you even if you're saying no. You could also say, oh, I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you, or I'm okay, thank you means no, but we should still add thank you, even if we're saying no. We talked about this a little bit before, but when we want something, this is the most important phrase you need. We want to use probably pass. Could you please pass the turkey? Or would you mind? Would you mind passing? So if you use could you, just say pass. If you say would you mind, say passing. Would you mind passing the turkey? And then when you get it, you should say thank you. Thank you. Would you mind passing the turkey? Oh, thank you very much. All right, so hopefully the do's and the don'ts are useful, even if you're not celebrating Thanksgiving this year. That's okay. Now you know a little bit more about American culture and how to be polite at the dinner table in America. Now, remember, this is not about being formal. This is not that stuff. We're not talking about that. If we were talking about that, we'd have to talk about where to put the spoon and where to put this cup exactly and where to put the napkin. All of that stuff doesn't really matter when we just want to be polite, for example, at a family meal, like Thanksgiving. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.